on a Saturday night, and I guess they call it Death Valley.
Death Valley Junior.
Death Valley Junior. LSU emerges victoriously 17-10 over the Clemson Tigers in a top 10 battle where it had everything you'd want and some things I guess you don't want. My name is Bryce Koon. This is Matthew Brune. We welcome you into the Instant Reaction Bengal Tiger podcast. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Brune, let's talk about this. Let's lead it off.
How do you want to lead it?
The defense.
Yes.
I wrote about this. I don't know if you're familiar. He's not my good friend. Irk Russell, the mantra of GATA. Get after that. That is exactly what LSU did tonight. Blake Baker, I think, has his pieces, and we saw it on full display, man. Playing like their hair was on fire. Cade Klubnik wasn't comfortable. They didn't get home a lot, but he wasn't comfortable. Clemson was one-dimensional, could not run the football. This is everything fans wanted to see out of LSU, and I think media as well.
This is what we've seen.
We've seen
the
it
past month.
The past month.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
This was we've seen fall camps before and been misled at times or whatnot. This was exactly what we've seen the past month, and we've been trying to say, but you never know what it's going to look like, right? Coaches never know what it's going to look like. Players don't know what it's going to look like until you get out here, and they lived up to the expectations, then some. I mean, I was expecting a very good defense performance. I wasn't expecting them to hold the Clemson to 10 points.
Scoreless in the second half.
Yeah, scoreless. I mean, a dominant performance, and just in the big picture, this was an ass-kicking. This was not.
You said it.
This was not as close as 17-10.
No.
It wouldn't have been as close as 24-10. This was a 3-possession win for LSU. This was a complete domination, especially in the second half. First half, it was up and down. I'd argue they probably played even, but I mean that was an incredible win, and that we needed to see, and it started, like you said, because of the defense.
It's almost like those fall camp notes we were writing and spent time
Subscribe
in the
to the Bengal
podcast
Tiger
that we sat in the heat of the day and did. It made sense. No, and let's point out a couple of guys. First off, Harold Perkins, in the words of Sam Ehlinger, he's back. Harold Perkins looked really, really good. I'm sorry, I had to drop the Texas reference in there. They lost today, so it's okay. Harold Perkins looks rejuvenated. I wrote about his conversation, kind of what he talked with the media about this week, but I think everyone was hesitant to say, okay, well, but this, but that. Man, the most dominant player on the field, and there's a couple of guys you could have given that award to tonight.
Oh, my God. I mean, first of all, starting at the end, Harold Perkins, Cade Klubnik thinks he has an open lane to his right to run for the first down.
He had an angle.
And I thought he had it, and then all of a sudden, like a blur, Harold Perkins comes out, and that's the difference. That's why you need him on the field. So to everybody last year that was like, they're better without him, maybe in that role, maybe at inside linebacker. Fair. But this is what he does. This is what I was saying last year is he elevates the ceiling of this defense. If he hits, that's the difference.
It's an elite defense.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
And so, sure, cool. Could they play like a nickel out there? Yeah. But Harold Perkins is the difference in situations like that. You don't get that from a lot of other players.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just different. And so, Harold Perkins, I'm fine starting there because he was awesome, but there's like 10 players
Weeks.
you can talk about. Weeks was awesome.
I mean, I think the attacking style of defense that fans last year felt like they were going to see, let's just be real, they didn't have the chess pieces.
No.
They did not have the chess pieces to be able to utilize that. It started with up front. Jack Pyburn didn't blow away the stat sheet, but the amount of times he set the edge and blew something up to allow those linebackers who are very athletic to create. That's what you need. You don't need your front seven, or your defensive line to garner all the stats.
Kobe and Guillory, Bernard Gooden, I thought both of them. I don't
Ahmad
know their stats off the top, but I thought they were all disruptive.
Yeah.
They held their own again, what we've seen in camp, but that was against a Clemson offensive line that returned a lot of talent. I like what you said about the chess pieces this year. It's just
there.
That was my biggest thing is I went into this game and I said it on the podcast, I think they have the talent to win this game, but it's everything else, right?
It's all the external factors.
It's everything else. And they finally overcame that. And so that was the biggest thing. Defensively, like even when something went wrong, even when it was a quick change and it was a fumble, Bauer Sharp, they had to get back on field. What happened? 3 and out immediately, field goal. Like they just kept coming up with plays. The talent on this defense is ridiculous right now.
Let's go to the back end.
Yeah.
Because Mansour Delane proved, I'm going to tell you this, I tweeted this, this is why you go pay in the portal. Because you needed this. You had to have this against a wide receiver crew. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you this, fellows and gals. This offense for Clemson is going to make some teams look silly this year. It's going to happen. They've got the wide receiver talent to do it. Tonight they didn't. Mansour Delane locked down. P.J. Woodland was pleasantly surprised with how P.J. Woodland played. So just overall, when you take a look at from all three levels, Jordan Gilbert played pretty well.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I
And
know
then
he's
A.J. Halsey
giving him a hard time. A.J. Halsey coming in like
Halsey came in and was really good.
the secondary. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Mansour Delane, I asked him in the post game how much it helped that he went against him last year. And he was like, yeah, that was a big deal for him.
Really?
And I think you could tell.
He was comfortable.
He knew
the tendencies.
He knew like what it took to stop TJ Moore, Antonio Williams, these guys, and he did it, and he probably imparted wisdom on the other guys too.
Yeah.
That's a massive thing. He was like, yeah, they returned 80% of their production, but it might have worked against them a little bit. Like, it might have worked in our favor here because LSU's defense is all brand new. Like, how is Clemson preparing for it? So this is I said it before, like, the portal is so boom or bust. I think LSU they bought a lottery ticket, but it wasn't a lot. Obviously, it was calculated. They did their
the odds
research on
weren't
these
super
guys.
high.
But there's a chance that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Look, it's only one game, but I mean, they might have just hit a jackpot.
You mentioned hitting a jackpot, and I like what you said too about Clemson returns so much. And maybe one thing that we ignored was this defense was really good. We felt like it was, but no one had ever seen them play cohesively. And I'll be real with you. I was one of those people who was like, yeah, I don't know if it's going to work. It might have worked because Clemson had never seen it. They had never seen Pyburn and Peyton on one side. Cade Klubnik is a really good quarterback. He was not comfortable tonight.
Terrible.
Clemson could not run the ball. He couldn't run the ball.
Yeah, they ran the ball. Was it 1.7 yards per carry? Which includes,
under 2
I think,
yards.
1 or 2
under 2
sacks.
yards.
But yeah, under 2
it's,
yards.
It's ridiculous.
He was 19 of 38 passing. I mean, with 1 pick. Shout out Mansour Delane with the interception again, but the pressure from the defensive line sparks it. This is, I said it and I wrote about it time after time. I said it was going to be a top 20 defense.
You set the foundation
It looks like it's going to
tonight.
be at least a top 20 defense. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen some of the top teams across country. We don't have to get too deep into it. They all look, talented as well. But this defense, if they can play like that, sky's the limit.
Before we get into what this means going forward, let's talk a little bit of offense. I wrote a piece, what I liked, what I didn't like, and I'll tease it here. What I didn't like, honestly, was I felt like in the first half you got a little cute. And you mentioned this to me, and so I ran with it, so thanks.
Yeah.
You had nearly hockey line changes at wide receiver. There was never an opportunity to establish a rhythm. Now, I will say this. Kudos to Joe Sloan, Alex Atkins, Brad Davis for not going away from the run.
Yes.
You and I were – we said we were a little bit hesitant. We're like, I'm ready for them to pass the ball.
Yeah.
They kept it the run, and when it mattered at different times, they were able to go pick up 3, 4, 5 yards here. So I understand if that's the philosophy early in the game you want to be able to do. I just feel like there might have been some opportunities left on the table in the passing game that you could have taken advantage of.
And then in the second half, that's what we saw.
Over the middle with Aaron Anderson, man.
Nussmeier. The Nussmeier and Anderson connection last year was basically all they had. Not all they had, but
it was the go-to thing.
It was the go-to thing. Like, Ole Miss, what did they have to do to win the game? Aaron Anderson. Like, in these tough spots, when they need first downs, they go to Aaron Anderson here in the slot.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened again. I went into the year like, all right, well, they have all these weapons. They're going to rotate them, which they did.
Yeah.
They're all going to get different targets. Like, ultimately, if you have the Aaron Anderson button, just keep pressing it.
Yeah.
And that's what they did because he's such a tough cover. And they to kind of expound upon your point about them, like, kind of being cute and stuff, I thought they were playing a little scared of – they didn't want to put too much on this offensive line.
It was very obvious. They were concerned about the pass rush.
They wanted to run the ball,
yeah.
clearly, and then they wanted to throw a lot of screens, which they threw a lot of screens and quick stuff. And so credit to, again, the staff, because the staff, I thought, came into this with a good game plan and was disciplined consistently and stuck to what they wanted to do. So credit to them. The offensive line, albeit, like I said, I think they were protecting them a little bit. I thought they were fine. I hesitate to go like above and beyond and say like, oh, they're great, but I think they were more than good enough to win this game. And if they play like that, then they're more than good enough to beat anybody.
The last thing on the offense I'll talk to you about, Garrett Nussmeier, had probably the greatest non-touchdown throw that I've ever seen in person in college football. The throw to Berrien Brown, was it a catch, wasn't a catch? But we can debate that all night, and that's what the message board's for, making sure you get that subscription. Nussmeier locked in, I felt like. Yeah. He calmed things down, and that's what you expect out of a veteran quarterback.
I mean, this dude's incredible.
He's good.
He makes every throw he can, and he didn't put the ball in harm's way. Again, credit to the offensive line. I thought credit to the coaching staff for putting him in advantageous situations in the second half, but he was crisp. He was like, he made a couple, besides even the Berrien Brown throw, a couple throws over the middle where in the second half he started hitting them, and then you just throw up the trade as green because you have that, again, you just spam that in the red zone. So Garrett Nussmeier, my money, best quarterback in the country. I've said it before. I mean, you looked at people had Cade Klubnik ahead of him. You see what that was. You saw Arch Manning earlier today. This isn't even a competition to me. Garrett Nussmeier is the best quarterback in the country, and that arm talent is absolutely special. And that's the one thing I regret going into the game is I didn't give him enough credit.
You drove it.
I love Garrett Nussmeier's talent on the field, and I was just hesitant because I was like, okay, well, if he gets pressured, you're knocked up, you know how it goes, and we'll see. And if he doesn't have a run game, but I mean, the dude's so damn good. Like again, last year he won games just kind of putting the team on his back. This year in this game he didn't do that, but he was great again.
Last part on it, there were so many things that weren't utilized, is why I think a big reason for the fans to be excited. There's a lot of things you can work on offensively, a lot of things you can work on defensively. That's what Week said. He said, and Blake Baker mentioned too post-game. We got a chance to talk with him, and he said there's a lot of things we can be better at. And Week said, we know we probably couldn't, we didn't need to allow a touchdown. I mean, that one 13-play, 75-yard drive was it. That was it. The only reason they got the field goal is because of the fumble from Bauer Sharp.
Yeah. And so they should. Yeah, honestly,
I mean, it could have been a shutout.
They did not drive the ball down the field confidently at any point.
The one
Cade
drive.
Klubnik had a couple of escapes that got some yards, and then was it a holding or something? There was a penalty, and then there was the non-call on 4th and 4 where the dude,
Either
I don't remember who it was, Wesco or someone
block.
comes back and, yeah, again, you could take your pick on the call. I thought it was egregious, no call. But again, like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And, even if Clemson's not like a top 10 offense, like that's still a really good offense.
In their house.
In their house. Again, that's what was making me hesitant going into it. But, and I wrote about this, I won't give it all away, I can go read the reactions, but like they just hadn't, and I've mentioned this before, but they haven't gotten over that hump. So it's hard for me to believe like you're going to go into Clemson and do this without me like having the most like projection, like, oh, everything's just going to work. Well, everything did work.
It did.
So congratulations, LSU, because that was like, again, like a 24-3 win in my head.
Yeah. I'll even push back. Everything didn't work, and you still won the game. Like, everything wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A little bit there. Now, what does this mean going forward? Now, like you mentioned, you look across college football today. We still have some games left on Sunday and Monday.
Everyone sucks.
The door, but in all seriousness, the door's wide open.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned it, and we were both in the same boat with this. We needed to see it to believe it. Well, we've seen it on the road in an environment. When you look across the country, look, teams can get better. Alabama isn't Alabama of 2 years ago.
Nope.
That is, they're not even close to that. That opportunity, I started now have a data point. Not just the players. I've got a data point to point to and say, hey, you can go do this again. You get Florida in 2 weeks. Florida played Mary Mother School of the Blind tonight. I mean, I've never heard of it. They had a guy make an Odell-like catch. That being said, starting in front and not behind is the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway. And I think it really, man, I don't want to hype it up too much because we could be sitting here in 2 weeks at Tiger Stadium and you don't know what can happen. Football's crazy. Take it away, because seriously, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to hype it up too much, but this could be a fun year.
Do I want to get clipped if this is wrong? They're in the playoffs.
Ooh.
Look, this win gives you such a big cushion, and if we say the SEC even somewhat cannibalizes itself,
that's the ACC
like,
champion.
Yeah, you just beat Clemson on the road like easily at their place. If you go 9-3 even, 9-3. I think this win gets you in. Again, assuming a couple teams are decent. Like I just think this gives you such a big margin for error at this point. And that they didn't have that in years past. We talked about that. I said last year before the USC game, if they lose this game, they're going 8-4 because like you can't lose to USC. They lost to USC. I said going in this game, if they beat Clemson, they're making the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they are. So I don't look at the schedule, and I look at the schedule. It's going to be tough still. Florida and go down it, whatever. Even though Alabama looked like not trash, but they didn't look good.
Yeah.
Still,
teams
all these
change.
games are going to be tough.
Yeah.
But damn, you have a win over Clemson on your resume to start, and you have the best quarterback in the country, and you have, in my opinion,
one
probably right now a top 10, top 15 defense. So, congratulations, LSU fans.
We were wrong.
You're back.
That's. I mean, he just said it right there. There's no reason for me to talk anymore about it. No, and kind of in closing, this is a massive win. It sets you ahead. You do not have to work out of an 0-1 hole. You can go into next week not having to correct things to get a win, but to correct things to keep winning. And I think that's one of the biggest things is there as well. 2 weeks you got Florida. We talked with some people on the elevator on the way down. Looks like
Your boy.
That could.
You're talking with your boy.
My boy. We're not going to disclose
Boy,
names.
Kirk.
We're not going to disclose names. But in all seriousness, you're able to maybe get another primetime game where you are in Tiger Stadium in Brune. You've hit this home. This was a big win because it's on the road.
Yes.
You love them so much at home. If you play like this at home, this might be one of the most raucous atmospheres in Tiger Stadium in terms of every home game if this defense plays like this, because this is a group that was just dynamic. We've talked offense, we've talked defense. LSU wins 17-10. Make sure to check out all those instant reaction written pieces over at the Bengal Tiger. Make sure to check out, obviously, the YouTube channel, podcast platforms. Sunday night, we're going to be live, depending on what time my guy here gets home.
We're
ready.
I'm juiced. I might drive home right now.
Oh, please no. I'll cancel the flight. Honey, I'll see you 7 a.m. He is Matthew Brune. We'll have Shay Dixon on the pod tomorrow night to recap and rewind everything. My name is Bryce Koon. Make sure you check out the rest of our content, and we will catch you next time. Final score from Death Valley Jr., LSU 17, Clemson 10.